And a pleasant Sunday evening. Welcome to Lone Star Park at Grand Prairie. Alongside Rodney Nelson, Railbird Rodney, I'm Jim Byers. Thanks for joining us. Good crowd filing in for Dash for Cash night. A couple of Grade 2 major races coming up later. The Dash for Cash Derby, the Dash for Cash Futurity. We had the trials a couple of weeks ago for those. We'll offer up our picks for those and all the other races on tonight's 12-race card coming right up. We have a lot to talk about, so we'll get right into it. Get Rodney's thoughts on the first Track Fast. First race, as always, a super high five wagering race. $6,537 in the carryover for that jackpot wager. In the first race tonight, there is a scratch, the 6 Tailgate Junkie. That leaves a field of 11.
Right, I'm on the number 8, Fast Attack. This looks like a horse that can run very well here in this first race. This is a 400-yard race. Fast Attack has tried the 400-yard distance 3 times, does have a second to show for it. That second coming when this horse was in at the $10,000 maiden claiming level at Louisiana Downs back in March. Finished second just by head. Most recently, this horse was in for the $7,500 tag at the 400 yards at Retama Park back in July. Finished 5th in that race, but was only 1 length off the lead. Next out winner and D Runaway Train in that one as well. So I think Fast Attack can have a good shot here in the opener. My second choice will be your number 4 horse. That's GJB Black Swan. This is a horse that was in for the $7,500 tag last time. Finished 3rd in that one, just by half a length. Was bumped in that one. The race before that was bumped as well. That was in a maiden race. Both of those coming at Retama Park. And I'd like to see GJB Black Swan have a clean trip and get across that line before a lot of these other ones right here in the first race. And then my third pick is going to be your number 9 horse, M. Cool Eve Jess. Yeah, I think I said that right. That's going to be a tongue twister for you, Jim. I think M. Cool Eve Jess. That one's hard for me. This horse had 2 starts at Retama this year, one back in June at Delta Downs. Never really finished in the mix in any of those. Last time the horse was bumped. So it wasn't a very good one. That was at the maiden rank, so it was dropping down here for this $5,000 tag, which is going to be the cheapest this horse has run. The trainer, Roberto Madrigal, he doubled his win total last night, so he went from 1 to 2 last night. So this could be one to watch right here. That's the 9, M. Cool Eve Jess.
This is the type of race that has been frustrating me this meet. When you and Rick go for a favorite and I try to beat the favorite, I haven't had real good luck in those situations. Fast Attack may win the race. He's had 11 chances, and he's not one of these futurity trial long-time maidens that's been running in really good races against futurity-type horses. But, his numbers are pretty good, and his performances are pretty good, but I'm going to try to beat him. In fact, I've got him 3rd here. I took the 4 GJB Black Swan. There's a couple things about her I don't like. I'm not crazy about the fact she's stretching out to a distance she hasn't been before, which sometimes can make a difference in this sport. She's also been a bit trouble-prone. Last time she ran a really nice race, I thought. She was bumped. A really good try to run 3rd as the favorite at Retama. It was against only fillies, but she has more recent racing activity than Fast Attack. So I'm going to lean toward her. I think it's a little bit of a reach of a pick. And it looks like they're going to bet some other horses here in this first race. In fact, there's money in on the 10 for reasons that I don't know. But a lot of things happen sometimes here that I don't know about, like the first race last night. But I'm going to take in a Fast Fashion second. Has kind of been knocking on the door. He's had a couple of races at Gillespie to get ready for this meet. So I'm going to go 4-2-8. And that probably means we can usher Fast Attack straight into the winner's circle. But I just think he's going to end up the favorite probably, and I just think he's going to be a little bit too short a price, but we'll see. Second race, Texas bred maiden claimers going a short 250 yards.
I'm on the number 7, VP Royal Lark. This is a horse that ran the maiden race last time at Retama Park. Finished second in that one just by neck. Just wasn't able to pass the horse that won the race toward the end. But I think that this horse can have a good run here. My second choice, I'm going to take the number 10. This is a horse on the outside, an Eris Effort. One thing about the 10-hole, Diantha Brazil, our media relations manager, told me last night that this whole meet we haven't had a single winner from the 10-hole. And last night we had 12 horse fields, and we did have a 12 winner, I think. We had some 11s that got up, at least to finish in the mix. But I'm going to see if this 10 can that's why I got it second right here. Don't have a win from the 10 hole yet. Take a look at the trainer, Angel Sanchez. He improved his win mark to 12 wins from 35 starts last night. And I think that this horse can have a good run for him tonight on the outside. My third choice is going to be your number 6 horse, Blazing Pool. 2 starts for this horse, both coming at Retama Park. Has never run this short before. I think that this horse is going to like the shorter distance. It seemed like in that last race. Got out there and was hanging toward the front, but ended up getting passed down the stretch as the race got longer. I think the 250 yards might suit Blazing Pool a little bit better than some of those longer races.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like him as a fairly strong second here. I went 7, 6, 10. VP Royal Arc, to me, is a very confident selection. If she gets out of there okay, I had a hard time with my picks getting them out of the gate last night, just by bad luck. But last time out, she ran a super race. I don't buy the fact that it says she hung late. I thought she ran a super race. She just got, beaten at the wire by a neck. She was well clear of the third-place finisher. That was against Open Company. This is against Texas Bred. She's going to be a really short price. I'm going to go 7, 6, 10. I'm going to use Eris Effort third here. She definitely needs the drop in class. There's no question about that, and she gets it in this spot today. Third race, Arabians. It was interesting in the initial, before the 9, RB Game Over was scratched. By the way, the 9 RB Game Over is scratched. That RB Game Over and the favorite RB Game Changer are half siblings. RB Game Changer 3 years older. You and I were both going to pick RB Game Over, but now I guess we're both scratching into the sister, the older sis.
I guess we're going with RB Game Changer.
I guess so.
I mean, this is a solid horse too. I mean, this horse has had a good 2020. Had 3 races at Sam Houston Race Park earlier this year. Won 2 of them. Most recent was a stakes race. Finished 5th in that one. But those 2 wins that she put together earlier this year, one of them she won by 12 1/4. I like that. It seemed like an easy win. That came at 6 furlongs, so I'm going to add another half a furlong on here tonight. But I think that RB Game Changer can definitely get across the wire first. This looks to be the one to beat here in this race now. Second choice is going to be your number 10 horse, Dream Pearl. The jockey on this one, he picked up a win last night in the Arabian race. So that wasn't bad for him. So we know he can get across the line first and win. This horse has the last 3 races have all been seconds, all coming this calendar year. The race before that, you got to take a look back to 2019 to pick up the win, but that came in September. Wasn't too bad. I mean, that win and then followed up with 3 seconds in 2020, most recently in August at Golden Gate Fields. I think that Dream Pearl might come in here and, like it out here at Lone Star Park. Does have a win over our track, so I will take Dream Pearl as my second choice. And then for my third selection, I'm going to go with TTT Brother Wiz. That's the number 1 horse. Just missed last time, but, that was almost a year ago. That was in October of 2019. That was out here at Lone Star Park. Finished second in that race by neck. Put together a whole string of wins before that, but I wish this horse would have had 1 start this calendar year. I'd feel more confident about it. That's why I have TTT Brother Wiz as my third choice.
And if I remember right, and I forgot to look this up, but Patty's Day, the horse that beat him that day, is like, he's the John Henry of Arabians. So that was a really good performance.
We had seen Patty's Day out here a couple times, I think, running.
Exactly.
And I think in the stakes probably 2 or 3 years ago, Patty's Day was out here.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, he's earned tremendous amount of money. RB Game Changer has a really nice body of work, almost 70,000 earnings. She's an obvious pick. She would have been a semi-natural pick before the scratch, but I thought RB Game Over off a really nice maiden win at Delaware might have a chance to upset the favorite here. But I'm going 2, 8, 1. The big question for me is going to be who gets the lead here. This is only 6.5 furlongs, but there's a lot of horses with good early speed. And the way Arabians go, they could line up 3 or 4 across the track, and whoever's feeling the best that day might go on and win. You don't see a whole lot of passing horses in Arabian racing, but who knows? It could be a really interesting pace scenario.
Yeah, I mean, that horse that won last night in the Arabian race paid $50, I think.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you beat one of these short odds horses, and hey, it's payday, right?
And survived an early pace battle last night as well. All right, on to the 4th. 870 yards in this one, and this is an interesting race because the way I see it, most of the speed, the early gate speed here, is drawn toward the outside. So there might be some real swooping going in from the outside horses. My favorite sign in Frisco, just trying to swoop down to the inside here.
We'll see what happens when they fire, though. I got the number 5, D.E. Wagon Strawfly.
So do I, actually. I think they're going to swoop from the outside, but I still like the 5.
This is the veteran of the field. This 11-year-old gelding. He's tried this distance. It's 870-yard race 63 times, has 18 wins, 12 seconds and 12 thirds. So, he's won $631,000 here at the distance, which is, head and shoulders above everybody else. So I'm taking the old man here. 3 starts back, this horse picked up a win. That was at this $5,000 claiming level at Retama Park at this 870-yard distance. The horse knows how to run it. It's proven by how much he's won. D.E. Wagon Strawfly, my top choice. Second selection is going to be the 8, Frisco Jess. Last time this horse tried a stakes race, the San Marcos Stakes, it was a $40,000 purse at Retama Park. Finished 5th in that one, was well beaten. But take a look at all the races before that. This horse was rocking and rolling. 2019 had a good year. Finished in, 8 starts, won 3, finished second 3. So that's 6 out of 8. This horse finished in the exacta. I think there's a lot to like about Frisco Jess, except for that outside post position. And then my third choice is going to be number 4, named after me, God, I Am Handsome. This horse is not a stranger to Lone Star Park at all. 14 starts out here. It's finished in the money 50% of those times, so 7 out of 14. This horse has finished in the money out here at Lone Star Park, 3 of those being wins. So I will take the number 4 as my third choice.
On we go here. Well, before we go on, my selections here, I like D.E. Wagon Strawfly too for a couple of reasons. One, he has proven he can close a little ground. And number 2, he's proven that he can win from the outside. And I think that could be very pivotal here in this case because he's liable to have to swing out wide. So I'm going to give him a shot here. Frisco Jess, he's got a lot of speed. If he can make the lead from the outside, rushing up, he could be tough, but that's a tough trip. I took my favorite sign third. His Dam produced a couple of really nice ones, First Valiant Sign and a Trace of Sign. It's interesting that this horse is now a 870 horse. Leon Bard, by the way, wins a ton of races, straight and otherwise. It's 42% with horses going around a turn. Leon Bard training the outside horse, Frisco Jess, in there. On to the 5th now. 330 yards here, and these are $7,500 claims.
Yeah, I'm on the 3, FC, Famous ATAC Eagle. This horse has performed well at this 330-yard distance. Just take a look, 2 starts back. Ran it at this 330-yard distance. That was at the $5,000 tag. That was a non-winners of 3 race. So he's in here with other horses that could have won 10 races if they wanted to.
Yeah.
But that start 2 back, won that race by a head. The start before that, won it too. So won 2 out of 3 here in 2020. Most recently was a 3rd, and that was a solid race that drew up there. Damian Martinez is going to be back on this horse tonight. He was on it for those 2 wins back earlier this year. I think that the number 3, maybe a little bit of a price on this horse, might be all right. That's FC, Famous ATAC Eagle. My second selection is going to be the number 11 horse, Magnum Moon. Last 3 starts for this one. He was running at Ruidoso Downs. Won the most recent race. That was solid at the $7,500 tag. He's in for $7,500 tonight. There's a lot to like about Magnum Moon. Those horses that have come in from Ruidoso have been running very well out here, and I think that Magnum Moon is not going to be an exception to that. I think this horse is going to have a good run tonight here in the 5th. And then my third choice is going to be your number 2 horse, Toast to Money. This is the first time this horse has been in for a tag. If you take a look at this horse, has run out here at Lone Star Park 3 times. Does have a second to show for it. Has run this distance 3 times. Never finished in the top 3 in those. Last 2 races has had some trouble at the gate. I think if this horse can get it figured out, this colt can get it figured out at the gate, he's going to head straight down that track and come in and at least finish in the mix in the trifecta. So that's the number 2, Toast to Money.
I considered using him. One thing I will point out, because it's the kind of guy that I am, Last night I questioned some of the E-speed figures, the bold-faced numbers toward the right of your PPs. I'm not sure how they're formulated. I wasn't questioning their validity or anything else, just that I thought the Louisiana figure seemed a little high. Well, that inclination I had yesterday was wrong.
Yeah, those Delta horses that were coming in.
The Delta figs turned out to be very right. Toast of Money has some really eye-popping Louisiana Downs E-speed figures, but still not using them in this case, only because it's a wide-open race. I like the 4 Howling Good Time. Hasn't been out since May at Remington. 2 good works to get ready for this. A really nice starter allowance race last time out. Didn't really respond, but was very forwardly placed the whole way as far as lengths behind the leader. Was only beaten officially a half length. First time for a trainer named Fabiola Gonzalez. So I'm going to go with Howling Good Time. Hopefully get a little bit of a price. Magna Moon, my second pick. And FC Famous Attack Eagle, who certainly merits a lot of consideration, a third pick. That's a really good race. On to the 6th. We've got a scratch here, the 1. BL, Ms. Bodacious Quick. I think the top 2 or 3 really kind of stick out here at 350. But let's see what Rodney thinks.
Yeah, I'm on the 10.
Oh, you got
Doc's favorite wave, so I'm on the outside here. Reason I like this horse, I mean, the last 2 races, I mean, ran in Futurity for the All-American, ran in a Futurity for the Rainbow. That one in the All-American trial right there was beaten by Whistle Stop Cafe in the trial race. That's the horse that went on to win the All-American. Yeah. So there's something to be said for that. I mean, he was well back of the winner, but, you know, had a little bit of trouble at the start, a little bit of light bumping. But the horse is solid. I mean, has been able to run in those races. I mean, the trial for the Rainbow was very good for this one. I mean, finished 4th, but was only 3/4 behind the winner of that trial. I think this 350 yards might suit this horse well. We'll see. I mean, coming from the outside, I'm taking some horses that aren't the favorites tonight that might have a little bit of a price. Doc's favorite wave. You might get some decent odds on this horse, so I do like this horse. My second selection will be your number 2, an Apolitical Blade. Just one start for this horse that did come at Ruidoso Downs. It came at this 350-yard distance. Horse finished 4th, was only a length off the lead. I think Apolitical Blade can definitely finish up there tonight. And then I'm taking the morning line favorite here, number 5, Beer Brat, as my third selection. You know, I like him coming from New Mexico, running those races, running in basically the same trials as the 10 did. Not the same race, but the same trial for the big race. But, you know, I'm just not I see a couple 6 there, a couple stars by the name, some, you know, disqualifications in those races. I don't know. I just don't feel too confident about this favorite, but, you know, this might be the one that comes up and beats me for the night and makes me cry a little bit, not picking the favorite here in the 6th.
Well, you know, the 2 asterisks for the DQs, at least in his favor, is that he was moved up both times.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily look like he was the horse. Well, the first time he was bumped and bothered. The second time, I think the incident was totally unrelated to him. But, I mean, his E-speed numbers from those last 2 trials were outstanding. My concern about Beer Brat, who is my top pick, is he quick enough? He's going to have to get out of there. He's going to have to get away from there. I mean, it's only a 350-yard race. That's shorter than he's been running the last couple. He doesn't appear to necessarily be one that flies out of there. He's going to have to get out of there quicker here today because there's some quick ones in this field. But I'm going to go with him over Apolitical Blade, who does appear to have good speed. At least showed it back in May in his trial for the Ruidoso Futurity. And I took Rocky Deeds as a third pick. This horse drew the outside last time against Bad Monkey, who's going to be my pick later on tonight in the Dash for Cash Futurity. You know, was well beaten by Bad Monkey, but had a bad post and, you know, wound up so wide that he was on the unharrowed part of the racetrack. I mean, he was on the part of the track where they drive trucks and do the post parade. So I think drawing in the 6 hole is going to help Rocky Deeds. And then I have Doc's First Wave 4th. I've tended to lean against those outside horses, but last night started to show that maybe it's not going to make as much difference as we move forward. We'll see. 7th race begins the 6-shooter, $7,988 in the carryover. This race at 400 yards.
I'm on the 4, Hacksaw Hero. You know, this is a horse that's tried this 400-yard distance 3 times. Doesn't have a win to show for it. Does have 2/3, though. This horse had a pretty good year at Retama Park. I mean, 2 races in 2020 at Retama. Finished 3rd in the most recent one, a 2nd before that. I think there's a lot to like about this horse. Both of those coming at the 400-yard distance. I think Hacksaw Hero can get it done here in the 7th. My second selection will be your number 10 horse. That is Jess Worthy. This horse at the 400-yard distance has a 3rd as well, and from one start. Also had a pretty decent year at Retama, a couple 3rds, 2nd, a 1st. This horse has run a lot in 2020, unlike some of these other horses. Run 6 times. I mean, a 1st, a 2nd, and 3 3rds, so 5 out of 6 in the money this calendar year. I'll take number 10, Jess Worthy, my second selection, and then I'll go with the number 8 for my 3rd choice, Wanamaker. This is a horse that ran an allowance company last time out, ended up being placed 3rd in that race. A 3rd the race before that just by half a length. That was at the $10,000 non-winners of 2 level. And then before that, when she was in, where he was in for the $10,000 tag in a maiden claiming race, was able to win that race by a length and a half. So that was under a good finish. I think that this horse, the added distance might help out. And, I mean, it seems like this horse wants to run longer every time. So I will take Wanamaker in my top 3 there.
Yeah, I got Wanamaker as my second pick. I mean, his races have been pretty solid. Certainly those Fair Meadows, that's only place he's ever raced is Fair Meadows up in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and has ran pretty well there, including the races this year. I took Hacksaw Hero as well. The thing that worries me a little about him, he hasn't necessarily had a lot of staying power going 400 or 440. And he's going to get 400 again tonight. If this race were 330 or 350, I'd be all over him, but I still like him. Visually, his last race was pretty good. He didn't change leads like the last 350 or so yards of that 400-yard race, which was a little odd. But I thought he ran pretty well, so I'm going to go 4, 8, 10 in this one. I'm a macho man as a 4th pick. Angel Sanchez remains the hottest barn around, more or less, I would say here so far to this point in the meet. 8th race, we have a scratch, the 7, Just Fine Wine. In the 8th, starts to pick 5. This race, I have nicknamed the Battle from the Outside because, like last night, we had a race where all the contention was outside. I think the 11 and 12 should dominate the wagering here unless there's a mystery horse that is doing something that I'm not
Yeah, I'm on the 2 horses on the outside. I got the 11 on top, Mighty Indeed. 2 starts for this horse, both at Retama Park. Finished 2nd in both of those races. Last time was in a maiden race. Is in here for the $10,000 tag. Ricky Ramirez gets the mount tonight. I like Mighty Indeed. Second choice will be the number 12 and Fire Jumper. This another solid horse. This is one of them that's coming from Delta Downs. We saw those Delta Downs horses do fairly well out here last night. A 3rd, most recent race, that was just by half a length. A 2nd before that, a 3rd just by a head coming last calendar year. That was out here at Lone Star Park. So the horse can go across our racetrack pretty well. I mean, was able to finish 3rd in that race just by a head. Those 2 most recent races that I talked about, I think will do Fire Jumper good. I'm going to try this 400 yards for the first time, so we'll see how this girl can do from the outside. My 3rd selection will be the number 5 horse. If you take a look, last time out, this horse finished a solid 2nd. Was in for the tag for $10,000 before that, just like tonight in a maiden claiming race. That one came at Louisiana Downs back in January. Finished 2nd in that one, 3/4 of a length behind the winner. So we'll see what happens. I do have Raha, the number 5, as my 3rd choice here.
Yeah, I agree. We have the same pick, same order. The only thing I would add, Mighty Indeed, to me, she looks really tough in here. She's familiar with the outside. Last time she broke outward and still rallied well. If she does that again, I think she can definitely win. Fire Jumper's effort last time looks really good on paper. It just visually didn't look as good to me as it did on paper, but I think she's clearly a 2nd choice. And if the favorite falters, merits a big chance. All right, let's move on. On we go to the 9th, the Dash for Cash Juvenile. Preference given here to those horses that were just closest to being in the top 10 for the final, but didn't quite make it in. Scratch here, number 8, Mr. JJ PVC Eagle.
I like the 5, Quick Chicks Dynasty. I think I was on this horse back in the trials as well. This horse was able to win the trial. Didn't qualify for the big one, but gets to go here in the juvenile. Angel Sanchez, the trainer, he's been on fire out here. This horse has had 4 starts in her career. Has that win in that trial last time out. Ran a solid third in the TQHA Sales Futurity back at Rotama Park earlier this year. I think there's a lot to like about the number 5, Quick Chicks Dynasty. My second choice will be Graysland. This is a horse that finished third in her trial for the Dash for Cash, but still posted a solid time in that one. Didn't have the best break. I was on this horse as well in the trials. The race before that was able to break her maiden. I think that Graysland can run big here in this juvenile stakes. And then my third pick will be your number 3, Kiss Me and Miss Me. Only 1 start for this horse for Adrian Hurtron, Nestor Duran. That 1 start, was in that trial race for the Dash for Cash. Ran up against Bad Monkey in that one, who was the fastest qualifier. Finished 5th in that race, a length and a half behind. But, Jim always liked those improvements. I think there's always an improvement from the first race to the second race. I think this is it right here. I mean, this is a tough spot to run that second race, but, hey, we'll see what happens with Kiss Me and Miss Me, my third choice.
Yeah, Rick has this filly on top. I didn't even consider her the first time through. Now she's my 4th pick because my original 4th pick scratched. I mean, she may very well run well here. I mean, Wheatrone does that with lightly raced horses all the time. But, she was 14-1 in her trial. Granted, she was facing Bad Monkey. But, boy, if she had been bet a little heavier in her trial, I'd be a bigger believer in her. But who knows? She's drawn on a good part of the racetrack. Certainly merits a look. But I took Graysland. I mean, I wasn't, just overwhelmed with her going into the trials. But, she ran a really nice race. One more and I'm Gone V and I'm a Eagle ran their eyeballs out and both made it into the top 10. And she was pretty competitive third with them and got in front of them for a while. I don't know why she can't come back and run well again. She's probably going to be, a relatively, I wouldn't say short price, but she'll be favored as the line indicates. Quick Chicks Dynasty, I think a strong pick for second here and Hetch's Arrow Lips third. All right. We've got a key scratch out of the 10th, the favorite, the horse we were looking forward to seeing, the champion Trump My Record. He is scratched. Dash for Cash Derby, a Grade 2 event. Let's go ahead and watch his trial anyway. We're going to highlight Trump My Record, who's not running tonight, but he got into all kinds of trouble at the start of this race and still came on and ran 4th. But the 3 horses that finished in front of him, Love the Way You Run and I Am Valiant. Okay, so let's watch the race here. Trump My Record highlighted in the 3-hole. You see, he gets off slowly, gets brushed, and he'll come rallying on at the end. But Love the Way You Run wins this. I Am Valiant and Kiss My What comes on well for third. And all 3 of those first 3 finishers qualified. So we won't see Trump My Record, but we will see some of those others. And, I don't know. I have a feeling, you picked Wagons Dash, so did Rick. I don't know why I didn't pick Wagons Dash. I think the reason I didn't is he ran an absolutely perfect race in the trial. And as Gary West likes to say, I've retained a lot of nuggets from Gary West. There's only been one back-to-back no-hitter in Major League history, and that was pitched by Johnny Vandermeer in 1936. Wagons Dash threw a no-hitter in his trial. If he runs a similar or the same race back, he wins this by a length and a half. I don't know if he can. And he's had gate trouble in the past, so I'm going to try to beat him with a Painted Dynasty. I'm going 7-3-9. Sorry I jumped in front of you, but
it's all right.
You and Rick like Wagons Dash. He'll be a really short price in here, I think, because of the lack of Trump My Record.
Wagons Dash, was your number 1 qualifier. I always got to give some credit to the number 1 qualifier. It's tough in those trial races to be the top. I don't know how many horses ran, probably 120 horses that night or so. Tried to qualify. This is for the Derby. It's probably about 75 or so for the Derby. Tried to run and qualify. But this was the top of the night, so I give him the nod here. Won that trial big. Swinging Good Reason, the horse he beat is sitting in there. That's the number 8 horse. That's my pick. He beat Swinging Good Reason by 2.5. I do like your number 7, A Painted Dynasty. I really like A Painted Dynasty, as a matter of fact. It was kind of a toss-up between the 2, and the reason I gave the nod to Wagons Dash was because he was the fastest qualifier. I got to give him the nod, so I'm going 3, 7, and 8 here in the Derby.
I thought long and hard about whether to go with Wagons Dash after Trump my record scratched, but I originally had them ranked 1, 7, 3. I'm going to stick with it. A Painted Dynasty is anything but chopped liver. I mean, he's earned $226,000. His overall body of work is very strong, and so I'm going to lean with him. Wagons Dash, incredible trial. He's going to be extremely tough if he runs that race back. He does occasionally have gait issues, but many of these horses do. On to the 11th, the Futurity. This one has a scratch as well, number 6, I'm a Eagle.
I'm on number 3, PYC Painted Streaker here in the Futurity. This horse has won 3 in a row, including that trial. 2 of them came at Gillespie, came out here to Lone Star, won that trial race out here by a head over Fear the Dragon. 3 in a row. He's looking for his 4th. Angel Sanchez, the trainer, he's been on fire out here at Lone Star Park this year. I'm going with the 3, PYC Painted Streaker. I might want to change my mind later, but that's what I got right here. I got a number 1 written down by this one and circled. That's my pick here in the Futurity. My second choice is going to be your number 10 horse. That is One Incredible Hawk. This is another one that won the trial to get into this race. Won the TQHA Sire Futurity before that. I've seen a lot of horses from that race seem to come out here and run well this year. Adrian Hurtron, Nestor Duran, I like that combination. Don't like that this horse is starting from the 10 hole. Like I said, Diana told me no one's won from the 10 so far this year. And then my third choice is going to be your number 9, Bad Monkey. This horse has also put together 3 in a row. Lot to like about this horse. I mean, it was early in the. One thing I want to talk about was T. Britt, the number 7 as well. This is a horse that's got a 20-1 morning line on this horse. This horse won this trial race, but if you take a look at all the horses that qualified for this Futurity, most of them qualified early in the night. T. Britt was one that qualified in the last race of the night. So I think there's something to be said for that. I don't exactly know what it is to be said, but keep an eye on T. Britt. I mean, qualifying in that last race of the night, I think there's something to be said for that. Like I said, that's the 7, but I'm on 3, 10, and 9 here in the Futurity.
Well, the thing that helps T. Britt is I think he'll be getting better as the races go longer, and this race is 400 yards, just a second try at it. But I went with Bad Monkey. I've been on his bandwagon since Ruidoso. He's a very, very strong finisher. His trial was extremely impressive. It wasn't the fastest. Well, it was the fastest. I'm sorry, I take that back. But it's not just that it was the fastest, but I mean, I just thought it was extremely impressive. I'm going to go, I'm contradicting myself because I didn't pick Wagons Dash after he had the best looking trial. But I'm going to go 9, 3, 8. Jim and Jam is one we're going to take a look at here. So we're going to take a look at a replay of trainer Fred Danley, who has had a lot of success in a lengthy career, saddled Jim and Jam to win this trial. It was the 3rd trial in the day. This horse, I believe, had the yellow silks. Yeah. Number 4, post position 3. And look how this Jim and Jam explodes late. Wins by a length and 3/4. Winds up just drawing away from the competition after not necessarily getting away all that well. I mean, this last 100 yards, Jim and Jam just roars past everybody on the outside. So that's my 3rd pick. Kind of wish I had used him a little bit higher in the selections, but Bad Monkey, PYC Painted Streaker are pretty salty. One Incredible Hawk I didn't use. I used him 4th. I mean, he's won 3 in a row, and he had trouble in his trial. He may win. This is a really wide open race.
It's going to be a fun one, no doubt about it.
I'm going to go to the 12th, an allowance, Texas Spreads, 3 and up.
I'm on number 4, a Pool Fool. This horse has put together quite a string of seconds. I mean, 4 out of the last 5 races this horse has run, has finished 2nd in all those. The other one was a 3rd, and that was just by a neck. I think maybe this is a Pool Fool's time to hit that wire first. That's your number 4. I got the number 9 as my second choice, Kiss My Lassie. Ran in a stakes race last time. That was the All-American Oaks. Was well beaten in that one. But, this horse has had a pretty decent record. I mean, take a look at how this horse did in 2019. 5 starts, won 4 of them, finished 2nd in that other one. Giving a nod to Kiss My Lassie as my number 2 choice here. And then my 3rd choice here in the 12th race will be number 1, AJ, Another Cutie Pie. It's a horse that has a 12-1 morning line on it. Most recently, this horse ran second just by a neck. Race before that, won the race. Has tried this 330 distance one time. That came out here at Lone Star Park. That was last year. Was beaten in that, but that was the debut for this filly. I think she's gotten much better since then, and I wouldn't be surprised to see AJ, another cutie pie, hit the board here in the last race of the night.
You know, in this last race, I really like the 9 here, Kiss My Lassie. I mean, she's faced really tough fillies in her career and wasn't beaten all that bad, a little less than 3 lengths in the All-American Oaks. She did run 8th in that field, but it was a pretty bunched up field at the end. Prior to that, she had faced some nice fillies in Derby trials. I'm going to give her the look here in this last race. Over the 8 Full Throttled's run 3 really nice races since a weird career debut a couple of years ago at Sunland, which is sort of inexplicable, but her races in 2020 have been quite good. So I'm going to go 9-8-4 and use your a pool fool as a third pick here in the last. All right, we have carryovers into pick 5. The first race, super high 5, and the 6 shooter as well. A lot of good action tonight in addition to the big races.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's going to be a fun night. 12 on tap.
Thanks for looking in. We'll have Martha Clausen this evening as well offering some thoughts. Enjoy the races tonight.